border problem. So it's Europe-wide. This thing afflicts pretty much every country in the European Union. So the European Union should step in, as I see it.
The European Union has been ploughing lots of money into building new tracks, but not paying attention to the trains that run on those lines.
The only tedious part of a trip is booking tickets. Imagine wanting to have a relaxing summer vacation by flying from Los Angeles to the Bahamas. When you try to book a ticket, you realize that no major booking sites are available. Whatever is available is either small, unreliable, or not very functional. When something so basic as booking a ticket becomes complicated, the travel experience becomes exhausting and frustrating. Booking flights separately, dealing with short transfer times, and lacking online ticket availability make it incredibly inconvenient. It feels like driving on a long, straight 6-lane highway from Los Angeles to the Bahamas. Today's video is going to discuss traveling on European International Rail. 2021 was the European Year of Rail. A promotional train called the Connecting Europe Express was supposed to travel across Europe to promote rail travel. However, what was intended to be a positive PR stunt was a complete disaster. The train had to cross 26 national borders, and each border resulted in a complete stop. Navigating the European rail network was a chaotic experience for many, requiring 3 trains pulled by 55 locomotives. Despite Europe's reputation for having a fast and convenient domestic rail system, crossing borders proved to be a nightmare. The European International Rail Network was a mess, causing frustration and impacting mental health when booking tickets. Overall, the European International Rail Network faces significant challenges, highlighting the need for improvements to make cross-border travel more efficient and seamless. Recently, a traveler took a train from Germany to Amsterdam, and the journey there was relatively smooth. She took a direct train from Hanover to Amsterdam Central, and neighboring countries generally have their cross-border rail travel very well organized. However, the problems began on her return trip when she decided to travel from Amsterdam to Prague. The trip from Amsterdam to Prague took 17 hours and involved 7 changes for €99.90. She opted for the night train, specifically the sleeper version called the Night Jet, operated by Austrian Railways. She booked her ticket through the Czech Railways app called Můj Vlak. Unfortunately, the app couldn't differentiate between beds and seats, so she made a reservation in a regular compartment instead of a sleeper car. The journey on the Night Jet was not a pleasant experience. The compartment had loud noise, comparable to sleeping next to a hairdryer. She had to disembark at Regensburg at 5 a.m. to catch the train to Prague at 6:15 a.m. If she missed that connection, the next was in 2 hours with a transfer, or 4 hours without any transfers. She had a limited time of 1 hour and 10 minutes to make the connection. However, the train was delayed by 2 hours, and her ticket was only valid for the 6:15 a.m. train. If she missed it, she would have had to purchase a new ticket or endure a 9-hour journey on a regular seat. She lodged a complaint with Czech Railways and spoke with the manager, but their response was not helpful. They apologized but explained that Můj Vlak couldn't sell beds, suggesting she should have used their e-shop or bought the ticket at the stations. It was frustrating for her to realize that the app's limitations were her responsibility, and it was her fault she didn't familiarize herself with its details before purchasing the ticket. Fortunately, the train eventually caught up on its delay, and she connected to Prague. The journey took her along the Munich-Prague main line, part of the backbone European rail network. However, the section is an unelectrified single track parallel to the D5 highway. These experiences highlight some of the problems with European international rail travel. Underinvestment in infrastructure is a significant issue. However, there are other concerns beyond infrastructure, as demonstrated by the traveler's struggle with a ticketing app and the inconvenience caused by delays and limited connections. From her experience, we know infrastructure investment, ticketing complications, and timely connections are the main challenges. Addressing these issues is crucial to improving the overall rail travel experience across Europe. In the realm of European international rail travel, one of the critical challenges is interoperability. This term holds significant importance within the rail community. To achieve interoperability, 4 main elements need to align: track gauge, electrification system, system, train control system, and the end user experience. Regarding track gauge, Europe has predominantly adopted the standard gauge of 1435mm, while Ireland, being an island, poses no issues. Spain's extensive high-speed network also follows the standard gauge. Efforts like the RHEA Baltic project are underway to link the Baltic countries to the standard gauge. Finland, Belarus, Russia, Moldova, and Ukraine may also consider converting their networks to standard gauge. However, challenges persist, particularly in Russia and Belarus, due to geopolitical factors. Electrification systems pose another hurdle to interoperability. The standard system is 25 kV, 50 Hz AC, with Germany, Switzerland, and Austria forming a separate 15 kV AC island in the middle of the continent. This means that running a train across Europe may require compatibility with multiple systems, which is rare and costly. Train control systems further complicate cross-border operations. Europe currently operates numerous different systems. This multitude of systems presents a challenge when running trains from one country to another. These systems need to be compatible, requiring appropriate hardware on the trains. This variety of train control systems creates complexity and requires careful coordination. In addition to these hardware-related issues, there are other barriers, such as the need for operators to gain approval for their rolling stock to run on another country's rails. While there is a common European framework for this, implementation by national operators has been slow. Nonetheless, steps are being taken to address these concerns, such as European certification for rolling stock, with the Hungarian railways being the first to receive it for their domestically manufactured passenger cars. Lastly, the user experience significantly affects the overall rail travel experience. This aspect is equally crucial but more easily addressed than hardware challenges. By enhancing user experience, such as improving ticketing systems and customer service, and ensuring seamless travel across borders, rail travel can become more competitive with other modes of transport, such as aeroplanes and cars. The lack of a unified European train ticketing service is a major hindrance to seamless rail travel. Unlike flight booking websites that allow users to book tickets from anywhere to anywhere, national rail operators in Europe keep their ticketing data closed. Third-party websites cannot access the information, making it cumbersome and time-consuming for travelers to book international train tickets. The European Parliament voted in favor of opening ticket data in October 2018, recognizing the need for greater accessibility and convenience. However, the Council of Ministers, consisting of member state governments, denied this proposal, as national rail operators were unwilling to relinquish control over their ticketing systems. Consequently, travelers are left to navigate multiple websites or apps to book international train tickets, in contrast to the streamlined flight ticket booking process. Passenger rights also suffer due to the fragmented nature of European train travel. Airlines are often obliged to provide accommodations or compensation if in conclusion, although living in the EU provides some advantages in addressing systemic problems like the lack of a unified train ticketing service, resolving these issues requires sustained funding and political commitment. While progress is being made, much work must be done to improve the convenience, accessibility, and passenger rights associated with European international rail travel. The European Rail Traffic Management System aims to unify the entire European rail network. While its implementation has been slow and faced budgetary challenges, it offers significant benefits. When a major line is reconstructed, it is often switched to ERTMS, increasing capacity and efficiency. ERTMS has 3 levels, each offering more advanced functionalities, including the potential for self-driving trains. It is a superior system in terms of user-friendliness and efficiency. Supporting politicians who prioritize rail infrastructure and sustainability is essential to drive progress in the rail sector. Green parties or other forward-thinking political groups often align more with progressive rail policies. By advocating for these improvements and voting accordingly, the potential for enhancing European international rail travel becomes more attainable. In conclusion, the European rail system has immense potential potential for improvement. By focusing on standard gauge connectivity, electrification, the implementation of ERTMS, passenger rights, and modern train technologies, the European International Rail Network can become more efficient, competitive, and sustainable. That's it for the video. Thanks for watching.